Hi, this is Dan. In this video, I will show you my storybox and my teaching module and how these things link to the series we have learned. This is my storybox, as our topic is about farm animals and my main characters are cows. I made a farm with barns, a windmill, a pond, fence, and cute cows and other characters. I also made a cow mask, animal dice, and a cardboard typewriter as my playing object for my activities. Our unit focuses on narrative and the persuasive tasks of Year 1 students. The school context is in the rural area. Students live in a farm community and they are familiar with the farm animals. Also, students have different cultural and linguistic backgrounds. Here is an overview of my teaching module. My module is mainly focused on the sequence of the test. In the first sequence, I will teach them the sequence of narrative test. The second sequence is about persuasive test. And my third sequence is focused on the differences between two tests. My module is based on Australian curriculum and the theories of teaching and learning cycle, for resource model, and disciplinary literacy. I will use play-based learning, culture inclusive, and dialogical pedagogy in my activities. I will introduce this in detail with my teaching plans. This is how my teaching module linked to Australian curriculum with language, literature, and literacy trend. For the first sequence, I choose Belinda the cow to teach the sequence of the narrative. My first code-breaking activity is Sound of Animals. This is my best activity for students to engage in my story world to build the knowledge of field. In this activity, we will practice animal sound with my animal dice and my animal finger puppets I made. Then I will show them a video of animal sounds in different languages. As our students and teacher have different linguistic backgrounds, we can share animal sound in different language and how do they feel of different animals in different cultural backgrounds. The next activity is also focused on language strand to practice phonics. In this activity, we will find the rhyming words in the storybook as much as possible and make a sentence with these words. After that, activity 3 starts to shift focus from field to genre. In this activity, I will break the story into pieces and print them in cards with pictures in a random order. I will read the story in wrong order at the beginning to let them know a story should in the right sequence. And then we will revisit the story and ask students to put the story cards in order. Next, activity 4 is a stage of joint construction. We will revisit the 4 parts of story, which are setting, character, problem, and solution. Students will draw a story map of Belinda the cow. Finally, in independent stage, students will create an outline for their own stories with a story map. In all stages, I will encourage students to challenge the story, phonics, and the sequence as a text analyzed to develop their critical thinking for next sequence, persuasive test. For the second sequence, I choose story click, clack, moo cows that type, which is a story that cow making various demands to the farmer by using a typewriter. This is the plot of the story. The first activity here focuses on language strand. Students will practice consonant blend in this book and write the blend word they know as much as possible and read them. The next activity, students will play the role of cows in the story, and teacher will play the role of farmer. Students will work together to find reasons to persuade farmer to reach their demands, and teachers will list the reasons on the board and reject them with reasons to help them improve their arguments. Students will understand the social purpose of the genre of persuasive writing as text user in this modern stage. Next activity, students will play the role of farmer with reasons to persuade cows to give up their demands, and teacher will play the role of cow. In these activities, teacher will teach the sequence of tasks by putting the point of view at the top of the sentence and list arguments with 1, 2, 3 beneath the point of view. It is a good way to help students to think critically and understand people with different point of view. By the way, I will use my cardboard typewriter, cow mask, and farmer puppet in these activities. Then in activity 4, teacher will help students to create a short drama of compromising, inspired by the storybook and activity before at the joint construction stage. Finally, in independent stage, teacher will create a context and group students into two teams like a debate, and students will choose one side. They will think their argument together and persuade the other. Teacher will record and list their reasons as an audience. I mainly use dialogical pedagogy and focus on language strength in sequence 2 because there's a lot of role play activities in this part. Also in this sequence, I mainly teach students how to debate. Students will learn sequence of the text through debating activities which reflect the disciplinary literacy. The sequence 3 is a summary of my module, which it has only one activity as my time is limited. This sequence continues the learning of two genres that students will find and list the differences between narrative and persuasive writing by comparing features of them. We will revisit the story we learned and the activities we made. They will describe two texts with key features such as character, problem, solution, point of view, reasons, as a summary of the previous two sequences. That is my teaching module, and this is my reference list. Thanks for watching.